Yeah, and here we go. We're up in the air, and boy, I can't believe the acceleration. You fly commercial aircraft, you don't feel this. My stomach's about where my back is right now. We're off at the top of the runway now. That's about the best I can tell you. And here we go! Holy cow! I can feel the key chute grabbing my legs right now. And we're going straight up. It's unbelievable. We're above the cloud line already. And we're making a left turn now. And it is unbelievable. Unbelievable feeling. What a rush. I guess we're upside down now. Yeah.
Well, we'll just roll into a little turn here, and if you want to go ahead and take the stick, you go ahead and you've got control of the jet now because I want you to do it yourself. So just roll to the left a little bit more. Just go ahead and roll. No, all the way to the left. About like that. That's great. Okay, now go ahead and fall. Forward, there we go. It's super. Okay.
Holy cow! That was unbelievable. Was that a big one or a little one?
Yeah, we got up to 8.6 Gs in that turn.
What we have witnessed here, folks, over the last basically 18 hours has been nothing short of remarkable. We'll be showing a lot of audio and videotape when we get back, of course, but we have young pilots that are attempting to qualify to become fleet pilots, and in doing that, they've had to land their aircraft in the daytime, and then last night, landing them in very, very difficult conditions. Not the most difficult it could be, but certainly if you can consider a moonless, cloud-covered night, and the ship raising up and down, and having to find that ship on your instruments, and then at the last moment looking up and seeing it with your own eyes, to watch all of that. And I know you as a former jet fighter pilot went through that many, many times, but you really have to identify with the young men and women who were attempting to qualify last night on the Lincoln.
Well, Mark, for somebody who doesn't do this for a living, your observations are remarkably correct. It is extraordinarily difficult, to be sure, but the Navy's means of training these people is extraordinarily extensive. You're correct that the people that you saw qualifying day and night yesterday aboard Abraham Lincoln have been doing this now for nearly 3 years. They undergo extensive training initially when they arrive in our ranks, and then they're at the point now where they're actually flying the airplanes that they will fly when they get to a fleet squadron. And while it's extraordinarily difficult, to be sure, and there's a certain element of risk, I think it should be pointed out, as you have observed, that our training and the means that everything that we go through to provide for safety, not only for the pilots in the airplanes, but for the ground crews who are indispensable. We think we have all the checks and balance in there that keep people from hurting themselves or putting themselves at great risk. We're extraordinarily proud of them, as you observed, no doubt, last night. And in a couple of months, these young men and women will be flying off these same aircraft carriers, only this time in the Persian Gulf or somewhere in the far-flung reaches of the world's oceans, making the world more secure. So your pride in them is shared by all of us, to be sure. And just be confident that we won't put them at any undue risk, however hazardous it may appear to be to the uninitiated.
Well, and the other thing I'd like to point out here is that we talk about the pilots, but as you pointed out, that the ground crew here, the hundreds of men and women, it was we went from one point of the aircraft carrier to the other. We were on the flight deck. We were up on the what they call the vulture's nest, looking down. We were on the bridge. We're over at what they call the LSO platform, where the planes first fly into. And you watch all these men and women communicating, talking back and forth with one another. It's like you're watching this play out just over and over again. And it really, if any of those guys mess up on one of their parts, the plane, the pilot, and the ship is in jeopardy. And the other thing we should point out to our listeners is these men and women are average age in the ground crew are about 19 and a half. Some of them are just a couple of months out of high school. And here they are on this 1,092-foot long vessel, 95,000 tons, steaming across the sea at 26 knots, involved in a very intricate maneuver. And as I said, any one of them makes a foul, and it could have catastrophic results. And this is going on hundreds of times throughout the day.
Yeah, Mark, you're starting to talk like a sailor. We've obviously had you on board too long, but you're absolutely right. And I thought the captain's remark yesterday when we first walked aboard, he said, if any of you ever wondered about today's youth, when you see them doing what they do here aboard this aircraft carrier, the wonderful dedication and the remarkable skills that they have brought to our ranks, as well as the things that we have trained them to do, is nothing short of miraculous.
Oh, and here he is, the chief executive of the state of North Dakota, Governor Ed Schafer, on his final morning as governor.
Hi, Mark.
Nice to have you back here.
I'm glad to be here. Hello to the listeners out there. It's fun to be able to stop in today.
Yeah, it is, and I really appreciate you coming by today. I know it's a busy day, and a lot of people want some of your time here today, and you just came from, it says here, the presenting John Hoven and Jack Dalrymple with these swipe cards. Oh, they weren't keys, huh?
No keys anymore. We're living in the electronic age, you know.
Oh, you got like one of those hotel cards, huh?
Yeah, actually, it is. It's a magnetic card that you just put up against the reader, and it lets you in.
Okay. You're going to be in the Capitol. You were in the Capitol at 3:30 this morning? Oh, Nancy Jones-Schaefer's here. All right.
I haven't seen her. Obviously, I was at the office all night, so she came up to say hi.
Well, that's great. I'm glad you're both here. This is going to make it even more fun here today. And answering electronic mail messages and tidying up. You know, I called you to ask if hi, Nancy, how you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine.
Good.
Great to be here.
And I called your husband this morning just to make sure that, you know, you were invited to come along here, too, today. When I called the office, it was like you were talking, hello. This is Governor. A little empty up there. Empty.
It is.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Very, very strange.
8 years of mementos and things on the wall and plaques and awards are all packed up and put away, and time to move on.
I tell you, Mark, he's such a pack rat. We have to have a warehouse to store it all.
You're not bringing all the cars to Fargo, are you?
No.
Oh, okay,
no.
good. All right, because then you'd really have a problem, yeah. Have to build a new garage. You're taking your desk, though.
Yeah, it is my own desk. That it is.
It's been in the family for more than 50 years.
Well, actually, in 1948, when my father opened up the first Gold Seal Company office in New York City, they bought that, it was then a table, bought it at a used furniture dealer for a conference table in that office. A couple of little rooms in the Empire State Building, actually, I think. And I dug it out when I was out east and had it refinished and have used it as a desk since about 1973 or 4.
And it doesn't have any drawers in it.
It doesn't have any drawers.
I noticed that the first time I visited up there.
And that was important to me because, as Nancy mentioned, I have these pack rat tendencies. And when I had a desk with drawers in it, I filed everything myself so I could find it, you know. So I'll need this in the future, so I'd stick it in a drawer. Of course, then when I needed it, I could never find a thing.
Yeah.
So I found out the best way for me to work was have an outbox, because then everything just disappeared, and if I needed something, somebody else could find it. And I always got what I needed.
Well, that's a good attitude to have. I may adopt that thing, because I have a double problem. I have a messy desk, and I got all the places where I don't know where everything is.
As long as you have good people on the other side of the outbox.
Well, there you go. There you're in good shape, yeah.
Who's going to take care of our outbox at our house in Fargo?
Well, Nancy, I've been meaning to talk to you about
increase category that you're in.
No.
And I think you had for sure one vote. The guy who said he would put his dishes in the refrigerator rather than wash them, I really feel confident that his was a true vote for you.
Now, listen. You don't need to muddy the waters on the great towel debate here. The vote is clear.
No.
There are 8 people, including
Unclear.
3 women for me, and 1 man and 5 votes for you. We have record line votes yet to tally up. I've already previewed.
You already tallied those up.
No, I've already previewed those. Have not added them to the vote tally. There are no hanging chads.
No, there's hanging towels.
There's
here.
hanging towels here,
Hanging towels.
and that's what we're talking about here. A properly displayed, ventilated bath towel after you get out of the shower. Just for those of you who missed Wednesday's program, my contention is this, and I have the votes on my side on this, is that if you get out of the shower, you get out of the bath, you have cleaned your body. Your body is clean. The water that remains on it is clean. The bath towel that you use is clean. You dry yourself off. You hang up the towel. It's properly aired, properly ventilated. It's not wadded up or put on the floor. That towel is available for successive uses. How many successive uses? I don't know. It all depends on how well that towel has been cared for.
See, now you're changing your stance a little bit.
But it could, theoretically, a properly ventilated, dried-out towel, in my view, could be used for a number of subsequent uses, perhaps infinitely, if handled carefully.
Yeah, so you're taking the extreme.
No.
I feel.
No. Your extreme was, oh, no, you've got to wash them.
No, I said it's okay.
You modified that.
No. No, at the outset I said, my 2 teenagers, I give them a towel, and I say, hang this up when you're done, as opposed to throwing it on the floor.